be doing a class like this one. And so this is the mask we're going to make today. It goes like this, up, and it's got strings to hold it onto your head. So there's a string at the bottom and a string that goes onto the top. Okay. And I think that you mostly have the supplies. So I'm going to go over them, but then I'll jump right into the sewing. And if you have a question, you could put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand, or you can call it out, whatever makes the most sense. Miss Jane and Miss Olga will help me in following the questions, and we'll go through the process of making a mask. And a lot of times it's easier to sort of watch the demonstration, watch me make it, and then sew your own mask afterward, or sew along with me a little bit, but there might be some places where I've already finished a step, just so that I can finish the whole demonstration within the time that we have, okay? And you'll be able to see this video again, right, Miss Jane, Miss Olga, anytime that you want, so you can refer back to it. And I also have written instructions that I'll send to the library that you can use also, okay, with pictures and everything in them. I think we have about until about 3 o'clock. So we should all have 2 pieces of fabric, right? So I've got these 2 that I'm going to use, and then a needle and thread. And you can either use embroidery floss like this, or you can use regular thread. Either one is fine. And then some ribbon or shoelaces or string, heavy string. Have to be pretty heavy. I'd say ribbon or shoelaces. And some scissors. And then a pen or a pencil. I'm going to use chalk so you can see it, but to mark your fabric just a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, you have a really long piece of ribbon or shoelaces.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, some people may need an opportunity to go get something like that.
Wait, I'm sorry, I couldn't understand.
I know that's what, if we have something like that, so kids may have to go get it.
Okay, so you might have to go and get the
ribbon. I think we only gave away this, we only put the skein in the packet, so of the embroidery floss.
These are the strings you gave.
Only the string.
Okay, so then let me just show you how to do it, and you can use shoelaces or other things for this part, or even some ribbon. But what we usually say is that you need 80 inches of ribbon, or this is a tape here that I have, and I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces that are 20 inches long. Each one of those is going to be one of these strings that go onto the mask. Okay, so you need 4 pieces that are 20 inches long each. So I'm just going to cut this. And kind of hard to see, but those are 4 pieces, 20 inches long. Okay. But, and so just pretend like you have this, because you have to have the strings in order to tie it on. You could do it with elastic also, and I'll mention that as we go, where you would do that. Okay. So you're going to take one of your pieces of fabric, and I'm going to put the camera down now so that you can really see what I'm doing. And I'm checking for the chat to see if there's anything new in there. Okay. Okay, so this piece of fabric should look like the one that you have. And it's 6 inches on the short side, 9 inches on the long side, right? And the first thing that we do is put the strings on, okay? And they're going to be about 1 inch up from each side. So your thumb, the first part of your thumb is about 1 inch long. So you can use that as a measurement like that, and then just put a little mark on your fabric. And you can see, oh, let me show you one other thing. This is the bright side of the fabric, or the pretty side. And the other side is a little duller. Hope that shows up well. That's the brighter side. That's the duller side.
You put it on the good side of the fabric or the
Yes.
bad side?
You're putting it on the good side, okay, on the bright side. And you want to put one of these little dots in each corner, okay, like that. And that's about 1 inch, again, about as long as your thumb. Your first digit of your thumb will put it in about the right spot. Okay. And then we're going to stitch the ribbon onto the mask. Now let me ask, and you can put it, you can do show thumbs up or raise your hand. Does everybody, has everybody threaded a needle before or not? Okay, I can't see it. Maybe Miss Olga or Miss Jane, if you can see.
Looks like
Okay.
a lot, but not everyone have.
Okay, so let me just quickly show you how to do it, just in case. Okay, so to thread the needle, this is a big needle that I have. It's for making dolls and teddy bears and stuff, but it's easy to show you how to do it with this. So this is the eye of the needle, right? This is the sharp end, so you want to avoid that if you can, right? And you just take your thread, and I'm using this green thread so you can see, and you push that through the eye of the needle. Okay, good, I got it in there. And then you have your needle threaded, but you still need to have a knot at the end so that your stitches don't come out. So to make the knot, clip this, you even up your thread and just wrap it around your finger like that. Okay, take your finger out, you'll have a little loop that looks like that, and put the ends of the thread through the loop and pull it. Okay, and then you'll end up with a knot like that. And when you have that, you're ready to sew.
How much string did you say to like put it together?
The string should be about as long as your arm. Okay, so from your wrist to your shoulder.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sure, good questions. Okay, so I'm going to put the camera back down. Okay. So
Can you
here's where I had,
the string part, I didn't see it.
say it again.
Can you repeat the knotting of the string?
Oh, sure. Let me get another one. Okay, I'm just going to clip the knot that I have on here off so I can show you again. Okay, so it's no distraction there. Okay, so you're going to take your finger, wrap the thread around your finger like that. Okay, then slip your finger out. You'll end up with a loop of thread. Take the ends of the thread and put it through the loop like that. And then you just pull it. Okay, and you'll get a knot that way. Okay. And now this will be in the video, so you'll be able to watch that again in the recording if you need to. Okay. So now we have our mask with the dots in the 4 corners. One here, I have to look and see where I'm in the screen. There we go. Okay, so there's one here, 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 and here. Okay, so then you'll take your ribbon and put it over one of the dots like that. Okay, so the ribbon is going towards the mask. Okay, and now we're going to just sew this on, and it's how you learn how to do your stitches. So to sew it on, you'll take your needle and start on the back and just put it through the fabric and the ribbon. Okay, and then pull until the knot stops the thread on the back. Okay, and then you'll go over a little bit and push it down and pull again. And you'll end up with a little stitch like that. Okay, and you can have your ribbon hanging off the edge a little bit. That's okay, don't worry about it if it does that. Okay, and so now we're going to make another knot so that this will stay in place, that stitch. So you'll cut your thread. And there are lots of ways to make a knot. You might know another one, but this is an easy one to start off with. Okay, separate your threads like that, and then just tie them together. Whoops, I dropped one. Okay, let me get this closer to the screen so you can see, to the camera. Like that, and then just pull it. Okay, so that's how you can make a knot. And clip your threads so that they're not too long. So that's going to be your first ribbon sewn on, and we need to do that for all of them. Okay, so I'm making another knot. Here's a second ribbon. You put it over your little mark and then make your stitch. I'm starting on the back, right? Pull until the knot stops the thread and then stitch down. Okay, and then we'll cut the thread and tie another knot.
And did you
So
say your ribbon was 20 inches?
Say it again.
Did you say your ribbon was 20 inches?
20 inches, yes.
Okay.
20 inches will be plenty long, and you can adjust the length. I'll show you how when we get to the end, but you always want to have your ribbon longer than you need it to be, okay? Because if you can always make it shorter, but you can't make it longer. Okay, so now we have 2 more. Okay, and I have another threaded needle. I always have a lot of threaded needles when I start a project. Okay, so I'm coming up the back and down. Okay, and this just holds the ribbon in place while we do some other sewing. This way we don't have to have so many pins. Otherwise you would hold this with a pin. Okay, now I'm tying this knot. There we go. And trim the thread. And the last one coming up. Okay, and just be careful.
You said to do it on both sides of the ribbon?
Say it again.
You said to do it on both sides of the ribbon? Like the sew at the top and then sew at the bottom?
I'm not sure I understand. You just, you only need to make one stitch. So it can either, it can go this way, vertical, or it can go horizontal. Doesn't, or it can go horizontal. It doesn't really matter. Did that answer your question? I think you might have had a different question. Okay, just ask again if it didn't answer. I'll try again. Okay, so here comes the last one. The needle goes up, you pull, and then back down. And we'll tie it off. Okay, so even if you're not sewing, just let me know if there's a question that you still have or something that didn't make any sense. Okay, there we go. Now, once you have all 4 of your ribbon pieces sewn on, then we're going to sew the front and the back of the mask together. Okay, so we've got our 2 pieces on this side and our 2 pieces on this side. Okay, and just kind of gather all of the ribbon up in the middle like this so that you can see your 2 sides where you've sewn them on. Okay. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. Sometimes it's like in a reverse position. Okay, I'm going to try to get it so that this is more centered for you. One more time, I'll try. Okay, I think I understand where it is now. Okay. So now you're going to grab your other piece of fabric, right? I'm using this one. It's super bright on this side, duller on this side, and I'm putting it right sides together. Okay, so the 2 bright sides are touching, the bright side of this and the bright side of this, like this. And now we're going to sew this on 3 sides. Okay, so we'll sew along one short side here, and then I'm going slowly because I am not sure which way the camera is going. There we go. Okay, and then along this side, and then along the last side here. And we're going to leave the bottom open, okay, because we'll turn it right side out there. Okay, so let me just show you. So you'll put your edges together like this. It's okay if these parts are sticking out, that's fine. And we're just going to sew right along here. And I'll show you where. Let's see. I just want to, okay, yeah, you'll be able to see this. To have you not sew too close to the edge. Okay, so we're going to sew right along this short side. right along this short side. And we're going to sew about a 1/2 inch from this edge here. And your finger is about a 1/2 inch wide. So if you use that as sort of a guide, then you'll be the right distance. So let me show you what I mean. So you'll start by the same way that we started when we were sewing the ribbons on. Start on the back and put your needle through. So it's going through both pieces of fabric. You can see there it's going through both pieces. Okay, and pull until your knot stops the thread, just like we did before. And now you're going to go ahead and go a little distance and put your needle down and pull. You'll get a stitch like that. And you're going to continue that way along the side of the mask. And we're just following this edge, staying about 1/2 inch from the side. Or if you're doing metric, I think that's like 1 centimeter. Okay, so you're just going up and down, making your stitches. They'll look like that. Okay, and you'll continue all the way. You'll continue all the way to the other side here. Okay, I think now I realize that everything is mirrored for me because I'm in another Zoom rather than the one out of my computer. That's what's happening. Okay, so you'll make stitches like this, just up and down, and you'll check from time to time to make sure that your edges are still lined up nice and neat and that your stitches are flat like that on both sides. Okay, so that it stays nice and strong. Let's keep going. So you go up and then back down. And my stitches are about, I don't know, I guess that's about 1/4 inch long with about the same distance in between. Okay. And if I go out of the screen, please tell me, say, Miss Ellen, I can't see anything. Okay. Just keep going. I'm going to check on the back again. See how it's looking. That side looks okay. Okay, the back looks okay, nice and flat. Just keep going. I can clip these threads off. I should have done that. Just so that they don't distract. Okay. And when I get to the end of this row, I'm going to make a knot. Just like I did before. When you get to the ribbon, you want to just keep going. Just go ahead and stitch right through it. Okay, just like it's part of the fabric. Just keep stitching right through it. Okay, and now here I am at the other side. And I come up like that. And now I'm going to make a knot here, same way we've been doing it. So I'll cut my threads. And here we go, cut my threads, separate the threads, and then just tie a knot. There we go. Okay, nice and tight. Okay, so does it make sense so far? Okay. Okay, you can always jump in with questions if you have one. Okay, so you'll sew all the way along one of the short edges, and then along one of the long edges. Okay, so that's the long edge there. And then one of the other short edge. Okay. Slow down, sure. Okay, so you'll sew on those 3 edges so that when you're done, and if you're sewing, that's okay. But I'll show you what it's going to look like when you're finished with one that I've started already. Okay, it's going to look, I'm going to move this one out of this screen for a second. And it will look like this. This one has got black ribbons. Of course, you can use any color that you have or would like, but you can see here that I've sewn on one short edge here, one long edge here, and then one more short edge here. I'm going to turn it on the other side so you can see what it looks like, and also you can see the stitching a little better. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the purple side. Stitching, then all the way across here, and then one more, your last short side. Okay. And once you have that, then you're actually ready to turn your mask right side out. Okay, so if you, I wouldn't expect that you've sewn all of this yet, so you can just watch and see what your next step would be. Okay, so you would just put your, oh, there we go. Put your hand inside of the mask. So I'm putting it inside like this, trying to get it in the screen. There we go. In the open edge, and just turn it right side out. And what you're going to see is that all of the raw edges that you made are going to go inside, and you'll have a nice, more finished looking mask on the outside. So here's the ribbon. Here's the second one, right? And then on the other side, okay, everything is upside down for me. There's one and the last one, okay? And everything will look nice and neat. Okay, there we go. It's really tricky to see where I actually am. Okay, but the opening is still there, okay? So what we're gonna do is sew this closed, and we'll sew it so that we also are not having any of the raw edges still out. So to do that, it's real easy. You just fold the edge in on the front or on one side, doesn't matter which one, and fold the edge in on the other side. Okay, so those are both folded down a little bit, and then you bring them together like that. Okay, so all of the raw edge is folded and on the inside of your mask now. And then we'll sew along these two folded edges. right along here to close the bottom of the mask. So let me grab a needle and do that part for you. And I'm going to do it with this red thread so that you can see it. Okay, so we'll start on the back either way you want to, same way that we've been doing everything so far. Okay, pull until the knot stops the thread. And then we're just going to sew all the way across, and you're trying to keep the two folded edges together. Okay, and these stitches, they can be a little bit bigger if you like, can go a little faster. Okay, so now I'm just sewing these. Okay, oh no, that's the print. Okay, sewing this together right across. Okay, it's so tricky to know where the screen is. Okay, like this, so I'm sewing it right across. Does someone have a question? Thought I heard a little something.
I'm not done with the ribbon sewing. I haven't gotten all the ribbons together.
Okay, that's all right. Just take a look at how I'm sewing it, and then you can follow it afterward. Okay, because it does take a little time to make a mask. And I don't think we would be able to everyone make it from start to finish in just 40 minutes.
And are you close? How close to the edge are you on your short side?
About a half an inch when I'm sewing the front and the back together. It's about a half an inch on each side.
Can you please repeat how to get both fabrics together?
Yes.
Like, what do you do with all the ribbon?
Oh, okay. Yes, I will. Let me get that piece back. Okay, I'm going to put this to one side for a second. Okay, so when you're sewing the front and the back,
So far I'm here and I want to know, like, do you put all the ribbon in the middle?
yes, that's what I was going to show you right there.
On the back
Okay.
or on the front? The front.
Right, so here's where we sewed it, right, at the beginning. And on this side, it's there. I'm sorry, on this side, it's there too, but this is where I've sewn the front and the back together. But I just gathered up all of the ribbon and had it in the center like that. And then you can just put the fabric down on top of it.
The good side the good side?
Yeah, good side touching the other good side. The good side touches the other good side.
Okay.
Okay, makes sense? So right sides together and you're sandwiching all of the ribbon between your two pieces of fabric. Okay?
Okay.
Questions are so good. Thanks, guys. Because then it shows me that you're following along. So that's awesome. Okay, so back to this one. So when you've sewn all the way around the three sides, oh geez, it's okay, there we are. Okay, the three sides, we've turned it right side out. We folded the edges of the open side together like that. And we're sewing across so that there's nothing left open on the mask. Okay, so you can just stitch, and these stitches can be kind of big. You just want to be sure that you're checking that you're sewing everything together as you go. Okay, and when you get to the other edge, there we go. Everything's backward for me. I have to keep reminding myself. I think I'm putting it in the screen and instead I'm taking it out of the screen. Okay, here we go. I have one more stitch left right there. Okay, and now I'm going to make a knot here. So I'm cutting my thread and then I make the knot, and this means that all these stitches are good and secure. They're not going to come out, right? If you want to, you could do it 2 times even. Just, you know, just for extra security. Okay, then we're going to cut these threads. Okay, and so now you actually have a mask that you could wear. Okay, but there's one more thing that I want to do that will make it so that it has more room for your face inside. So I'm going to put the camera up for a second. Okay, so that I can show you that if you wanted to, there we go. You could put the mask on like this and then tie it at the bottom too. But it would be really flat and kind of hard to breathe through and everything. So I'm going to show you how to shape the side of it so that it gives you more room for your face underneath. Okay, so that's the next step. And then we're almost done. Okay, so I'm going to put the camera back down and put in any questions. I'm trying to watch the chat at the same time. Okay, now let me see which side is this. Is this? Okay, this is this side. Okay, so to make this have room for your face, we're going to do some really big stitches along the edge here. Okay, so just stay with me because it doesn't quite make any sense, but it will work. Okay, so you're going to take your needle, and after the mask is all finished like this, okay, so all of your sides you've sewn, and we're going to make some stitches down this side that are really big. So I've got my needle, there's the knot at the end, right? There we go. And I'm going to put the needle into the fabric all the way through to the other side, just like normal. Okay, but instead of making a small stitch, I'm going to make a big stitch. Okay, see how big that one is going to be. You can see it better on the other side. Okay, that's the stitch right there. And I'm going to make another big stitch. And this will probably take me about, probably 4 stitches. Big stitches like this. Okay. And here I am, one more. The stitches just go between your 2 pieces of ribbon, your 2 straps. Okay, and now I'm going to make stitches coming back up right next to it. Okay, so, and I'm going to do this again, so don't worry. I'll do it again for the other side. Okay, so I'm going to come over a little bit and then make big stitches again. There we go, super big. One more. Okay, and then the last stitch will come up next to where I started here. Okay, so when you have the great big stitches and your needle is still on your thread, right? Then you're just going to pull your thread gently while you hold on to your fabric, and it's going to make it scrunch up like that. And you can kind of begin to see that when it's scrunchy on the side, then it's making room for your face on the inside. So you're pulling your thread to scrunch it up. You can pull until you can't pull anymore, and then we'll make the knot. Okay, so just like that. And I'm going to do it again, so don't worry. So pull, and you can do it 2 times. Okay, cut the threads. And now we'll do it again on the other side of the mask. Okay, so that it fits nicely along both sides of your face. Okay, now I have some white thread. Same thing. I'm going to make 2 lines of big stitches between my 2 straps or my 2 ribbons. Okay, so let me do it this way. So I do it the same way I did. All the way in and pull. And then we're making the big stitches. Okay. Okay. And I'll show you on the other side what they look like. Okay. You can see better with the white thread, just big stitches. Okay. And there's the last one because I'm stopping when I get to my other ribbon or strap. Okay, then I'm going to go over a little bit, coming up here so that I can make the other line of stitches next to it. Okay, let me just turn it so that everything stays in the screen. Okay, so there's big stitch. And another big one. And one more. Okay, my thread happened to come out on this side, on the other side this time. So I'm going to pull it on the other side just so you can see it. Okay, so here's the thread with the needle on it, right? And I just pull, and it's going to scrunch up your fabric. Okay, it's going to scrunch up your fabric like that. And cut your threads. Oh, thank you, whoever said that the stitches are nice. But don't worry, they can be messy or anything. They just need to be big and next to each other like that. If any of you are taking geometry yet, you would call that parallel. Okay, and now I'm tying my knot here, same way I've done before. 2 times. Okay, and then I cut the thread. And now you can really see how much extra room you get underneath your mask, that your face can really fit in there nicely. And you can use your mask on either side. So if you like this side better, you can have that up. If you would like your other side better, you can have that up. You can have it match your you can have it match your outfit for the day. Okay, so let me put up the camera and I'll show you how you wear it. And then one last thing. Okay, sorry again for all the bright light. Okay. So you just take your mask. It doesn't matter whether you have the stitching that you did at the top or the bottom. I know a lot of people like to have this stitching at the top because then everybody can see that they really made it themselves, right? And you put it over your nose and mouth, okay? It'll fit nice and snug. And then you tie, get down like this. You tie one ribbon at the top. And then you tie the other one at the bottom of your neck. And it's really comfortable and it's really nice, and you can make them for your friends, and you can see, you can actually hear somebody through it. So it works well. And then to take it off, you just untie the bow and comes right off. Okay, and let me also just show you, if you have ribbon like this, how you'll try it on and see how long you want yours to be. And when you get to the length that you like, tie a little knot there, just like the knot that we made in the thread. Okay, whatever length you want it to be, you make a little knot, and then you can cut on this side of the knot and it won't come open. Okay, it'll stay nice. So that's the mask project. And these are really sturdy. You can wash them, just throw them in the washing machine or wash them by hand. They work really great. So think, does anybody have questions? So on the third side, wow, awesome.
Can she hear us? Okay, hi.
Hi.
This is how far I am. I'm still sewing the U, kind of, with leaving one side open.
Yep.
She is too.
Great.
What's my question? The ribbon, but I'm not even at that stage yet anyway, but I saw that you have like long pieces. Were we supposed to leave long pieces here?
Well, yes, you need to have the ribbon to.
Well, we have the ribbon, but we have it like, I don't know if you can see because my fabric is kind of dark, but.
Wait, see if I can find you. Let me unspotlight me. And then I should be able, or if you can put it on